Hi, people. This is Asha Chaube. I will be connecting with you through this podcast from time to time. We'll be discussing the chapters or the grammar portion that we need to discuss, and I'll be then taking your queries and trying to answer it as much as possible because we do not know when this lockdown is going to end, and we cannot allow ourselves to be knocked down by this lockdown. So here we are. Now, in this first lesson today, I will focus on split infinitives. As you all remember, I had given you some 4 chapters to do by way of assignment, and the first one of them is split infinitives. Now, split infinitive is a new entry into English grammar because there was a time when split infinitives was considered to be a grammatical mistake. So people never took it seriously, and you will not find many books where they discuss split infinitives. So let us see what it is. First of all, before we move about split infinitives, we need to know what an infinitive is. And in a cursory way, I remember I had discussed infinitives when we were doing verbals. But nonetheless, I am going to repeat it again. Infinitive is a little tricky verbal, not because it is difficult, nor also because it is something you haven't learned, but only because it has been explained in a very casual manner in most of the books, and your school teachers have usually reproduced it in the same casual manner. So, generally, when you would ask a school teacher or you would ask any of your teachers what an infinitive is, they would say 2 plus the base form of the verb is infinitive. But that is not all about infinitive. The very first thing that you need to know is the meaning of infinitive. Now, there are verbs that are finite and there are verbs that are infinite. Now, infinite verbs are known as infinitives. But why are they known as infinite? And how come they become infinite? How can a word become limitless? Or why should a word be limited? What do we mean by limit when we are talking about infinitives? That is for us to see now. Now, some words are limited by time and subject. Let us understand this by examples. I will give you 3 sentences. I go, Ram goes, yesterday I went. Now you can see that the verb here is go, but it keeps changing with every change in the time or the person. So the first person takes the singular form, the third person takes the plural form, and the past tense takes a very different inflection. So this verb go is limited by time and subject. Now, how can verbs become limitless? Let us see that now. Suppose I tell you, let me see. Now, let me see does not have a 2 plus verb construction, as you can see very obviously. But if you change it, if you change the subject in, say, uh, let them see, see remains the same, though you change me to them. That means you change the subject. You change the person. So see, the verb here has become limitless. It is not controlled by the person anymore. You must go. Here again, go is infinitive, though it does not have a to before it. I am specially emphasizing on this because you need to know that infinitive is not always 2 plus base form. there are many other verbs that are infinitives, which we generally don't discuss. So you must go, I must go, they must go. You keep changing the subject, but go does not change because now it has become uncontrolled. It is limitless. It is not limited by the subject anymore. So much for infinitives. Now let us again come back to split. For understanding the concept of split infinitive, we need to go back to the original definition that you have been fed with by your teachers since your school days. To plus the base form is infinitive. Now, let us again take an example. Mother asked me to wait quietly. Mother asked me to wait quietly. I'm very sure the meaning is very clear. There is no difficult word here. And where is the infinitive? To wait. Yes, of course, you're right. To wait is the infinitive. But now let me reframe this sentence and give you another one. Mother asked me to quietly wait. Mother asked me to quietly wait. Now the meaning does not change at all. Only the construction changes. In the first sentence, I said, Mother asked me to wait quietly. That means there is an adverb, but the adverb, as it comes in the traditional grammar, it comes at the fag end of the sentence. But when I say, Mother asked me to quietly wait, I split the infinitive to wait and insert the adverb in there. So this is the split infinitive form. In the past, if you would say, Mother asked me to quietly wait, a grammarian might say, oh, he does not know any grammar. But now it has come to be accepted as a norm, and there would be many situations, many contexts, many places where you'd be actually required to emphasize the adverb. So you will insert the infinitive and insert the adverb in between. And only then the meaning will become clear. In fact, the intensity of the sentence will not be lost if you use split infinitives. So in such cases, it is recommended, it is advised that you use split infinitives. Split infinitive is not an incorrect form or a grammatical error anymore. And since when we were doing Bocuse formula in my very first class, you know that C stands for clarity there. And clarity is one thing which we cannot compromise on, especially in technical or formal kind of writing. Because any disturbance in clarity and your purpose is lost. And again, let me remind you that technical writing is all about your purpose. If you can achieve your purpose through your writing, you're a successful communicator. And if your purpose is lost, you lose as a communicator. So when required, you must use a split infinitive. If not required, don't use it. Because again, technical writing is all about writing what is actually required. So much for this first lecture, and I would like to give you some assignment based on this. Each one of you will share 5 sentences using split infinitives, but keep in mind that you will use your split infinitives meaningfully.